And welcome to this edition of Assembly Calendar. I'm Mike Friesen, and with us for our program today, Assemblyman Tom Alfano. Tom Alfano represents the 21st Assembly District in New York State, an Assembly District that includes communities in Nassau County, specifically the town of Elmont, where our focus is for this program today. We want to thank all you folks throughout the 21st District for joining us for our program. And Tom Alfano, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Especially for taking time out of your schedule on this very particular day. We taped this program in Albany because we are in the remaining final hours of the 2007 legislative session, and the bills are flying fast and furious here at the state capitol right now.
It's a hectic time of the year, as you know. We end this week sometime, and many bills are passing, and it's one of those exciting times. There are some deals that have not been made yet, and we're hopeful that they will be made. And it's one of those things where you just have to stay sure-footed and ready for anything. And
we are a little bit at a disadvantage as we tape this program because we don't have the crystal ball here in front of us that tells us exactly what's going to happen in those remaining few hours. But I'm sure you'll be reporting to the folks that you represent on this program and newsletters and traveling around the district talking to people.
It's going to be good to be home. I mean, we spend 6 months a year here in Albany, away from your family, away from the community you belong to, and at the end, we're here all the time. We're here 5 days a week, so that's a big strain. So I'm looking forward to going home and spending the summer with my family and visiting the constituents, as you say, because this has been a pretty good session so far.
One of the bills that you have been fighting for during this 2007 legislative session has to do with keeping the children in the community safe, a recurring theme to talk about the children in the 21st District and how important they are in the community. And this particular legislation, Assemblyman Alfano, has to do with requiring to know, I guess, what's going on with registered sex offenders that are relocating into the 21st District.
That's the bottom line, Mike. I mean, the first role of government is to protect people, especially children, the most vulnerable among us. And unfortunately, there are gaps in New York law which enable people who get out of prison as pedophiles, convicted high-level sex offenders, to live in certain places very close to children. We put in a law to say that they cannot live. Convicted sex offenders, level 2, level 3, the worst of the worst, have to live at least 3,000 feet from places where children congregate, such as schools, churches, child care centers, things like that.
And part of the problem has been that some of these convicted sex offenders have been relocated to social services type motels, and that's part of the problem. I'll tell you what, let's show you this report right now which details much of the problem as well as the proposed solution from Assemblyman Alfano. Then we'll be back with more of today's program. State lawmakers and community leaders are banding together to push for legislation to keep known sex offenders in New York from living near areas frequented by young children.
The concept of the bill is simple and straightforward. Convicted sex offenders, level 2 and level 3, the worst of the worst, the most dangerous to our children, should not be housed within 3,000 feet of motels or hotels where schools are, where daycare centers are, where churches are, where recreational facilities like parks are for children.
Parents are concerned with reports placing known sex offenders at a West Hempstead Turnpike motel, just blocks from a number of schools, churches, playgrounds, and daycare. Bill sponsor Tom Alfano says some potential victims are even closer.
You have sex offenders who are convicted of level 2 and level 3 offenses who, when they come out of jail, they have no place to live. That the state then gives them a housing allowance and allows them to stay in motels where some families on public assistance are living. So it's not uncommon when an indigent family who's on government assistance is living potentially within a few feet of a level 2 or level 3 sex offender. That's wrong. That has to change.
Bad news for the community when that situation presents itself, but as you just noted, bad news for other families that, for whatever circumstance, may be living in that same motel.
That's the absolute worst case scenario. You have an indigent family on public assistance staying in one of these motels. They're getting a housing allowance, and the state giving a similar housing allowance to a level 2 or level 3 pedophile puts them right next door, literally feet away from young children. That has to stop.
It seems to me that since you've gone public with this and have held your press conference and told the community about what's going on, it seems like you've had some positive feedback.
Well, the community certainly is aware of these two facilities that are in West Hempstead that need to be closed, or at least, especially the Courtesy Hotel. a motel needs to be closed. Too many things go on in that place that are illegal. Drug sales, prostitution, various assaults against people, certain pedophiles being housed there. And I know the town of Hempstead, with Supervisor Kate Murray, is working hard to address this problem. They will address it. We've heard that. And I have faith in her. She's a former colleague. She served with us in the legislature. And along with Councilman Ambrosino and the rest of the board, I'm sure they will do the right thing and have a transaction take place wherein that hotel will cease to exist in its present form.
And it's always a good reminder to the folks that are watching this program, if you are concerned about maybe if some of those worst of the worst sex offenders are living in your neighborhood, all you need to do is log on to the internet and go to the website for the state's Division of Criminal Justice Services. Just do a search on New York sex offenders, and you'll go to the registry, enter some information, and then all you do is put in your zip code, and you'll find out who's living near you and if whether or not you should be concerned. So with that said, let's move on, Assemblyman Alfano, and talk about one of the good news situations for the Elmont community. We talk very often, and we will return to that discussion today, about the community itself and what makes a community. One of the good pieces of good news for the Elmont community right now is an upswing in the business community, the growth in economic development right in the heart of Elmont.
We have a vibrant population who work really hard, and businesses realize that. You just saw a new karate dojo across the street from Gino's Pizzeria, Sensei Serge Clark. He also has another dojo on Elmont Road. We have a Golden Crust Caribbean food establishment in the Western Beef Shopping Plaza. Yep, the Dollar Tree store, the Dunkin' Donuts, which is a place for people to congregate in the morning and afternoons.
You can tell a lot of this is new construction. That's one of those brand big new CVS stores right there.
Brand new CVS store right on Dutch Broadway.
I mean, it seems as if there's an awful lot of traffic in the area, and that brings its own problems. You got to be careful with intersections and kids crossing streets and things like that. But now we're talking.
That's right. Nino's Pizza right there on Linden Boulevard is a busy spot also.
Boy, there's a skill I could never master right there, I'll tell you right now. I don't know. I watch those guys do that, and I never can figure that out.
The new Chase Bank on Linden Boulevard. People in the Olden Manor community in Elmont are happy about that. You see Burger King and Popeyes, which is a new addition.
You got fast food place. I mean, and again, this is all new construction. You can see right there that a lot of this stuff has just gone up.
And Percy Baxter, what an entrepreneur he is. He has his jerk hut over on Linden Boulevard. It's really exciting, and a new fish store has opened also in the community. They improve the quality of life, and more businesses help create jobs and give tax relief to our residents.
You know, that's the thing right there, because if you've got more businesses coming in, if you've got that economic development, that takes the burden off the residents, doesn't it, by way of supporting all the services that are provided within a community. For example, school taxes.
There's no doubt about it, and we're all in favor of that, creating jobs, lessening the tax burden, and some good services. I mean, today so many people, including myself, work a lot, and as a result, people eat out a lot. You notice some of the things that we just showed, they're all food-related. Now, many of them are food-related because in the Elmont community, you have people working 2 to 3 jobs to afford to live in the community, to send their kids to the good schools, and I can relate to that. I see my constituents in restaurants.
Yeah, on
a daily basis.
I bet you do. And maybe the next time I'm in the neighborhood, you'll take me and show me how that guy spins the pizza dough, would you?
That's right.
I need some lessons on that. I sure do. As I said, we oftentimes return to what's important in the community, and one of the things in the Elmont community that is so vital and so crucial are the schools, the educational community, and we're going to show you right now some of what has been going on in the schools over the past couple of months. For example, this is a lot of fun right here. This is the Gotham Avenue Field Day.
That's right. It's a special day for the kids, the students. They have games. They celebrate the end of the school year. They spend some time with their friends before the summer vacation. Principal Marshall Zucker and Assistant Dennis Cowan put this program together. It's a fun event along with the PTA assistants here.